pockets. This is also something that Joe was talking about, or somebody's talking about. But you can get the Natural Shield fabric, that's EMF.com, and just build yourself some pockets. And the great thing about them is, you know, in my wallet, shoot, I've got an access card, a server room card, a Nexus pass to the border, which uses 900 megahertz, you know, and probably some other card. All RFID, all, you know, possibly being able to use the tracking, or worse, get an ID and get into my server room or whatever. So, you know, this fabric right here is great because I actually felt it. I don't have it with me, unfortunately, but it's nice. It doesn't feel like wiry, you know, anything like that. So it's good fabric, and you know, it costs. I unfortunately don't have the cost, but it's kind of expensive. I think this pants pocket project costs like $50. But the idea is that you put it in your, you know, you put your wallet in your pants pocket, and it protects basically from 13.5 megahertz up to 900. It doesn't protect against low frequency, because low frequency is designed, well, the reason why low frequency is used is that it mitigates metallic and liquid interference really well. So the effect on low frequency wasn't really an issue. So for, you know, things like, if I had a glove made of it, it wouldn't matter. So privacy issues. One of the things I want to mention is that RFID is an identification technology, not a tracking technology. A lot of people keep using the term tracking, but tracking is something like either GPS or RDF, beacons, radio direction finding, or mobile phone triangulation. Tracking is a concept of trying to pinpoint someone's real-time location. RFID does not do that. It just simply doesn't. It identifies. So people that could try to, you know, shoehorn the technology into a tracking solution, it can be done. But just like you know, any other type of tracking, like UPS package tracking, it's tracked at points, key points. This guy, this, you know, this truck, this place. That's how RFID could be used for, you know, quote, tracking. But it's, you know, when I talk to a lot of people about it, their main concern is GPS. Can I go to a government website and find out where you are? No, you know, they don't quite understand the concept. So, you know, a lot of hard person's been where they've been, it's standard practice, loyalty cards, you know, computer logins, credit debit cards, all that stuff. So just kind of keeping that in the right context. And I think the ACLU is doing great things in keeping an eye on, you know, how technology is used, because it could be leveraged to violate personal privacy. But I just want to make that clear. It's an identification technology. Implants read-only. The garment tags that he was talking about, and these are, you know, removed before washing, so they're obvious. They probably wouldn't survive a couple washes in the washing machine. But you know, other clothes manufacturers were putting them in, so they were designed permanently to be in your garment. RFID, here's my little spiel about biometrics. But RFID requires users to carry an ID token, access card, implant, whatever. Carrying the token is optional. I mean, you know, some people would call it optional, but it is. It's still optional. Users can opt out, change the ID, or whatever. Biometrics, no ID token. Once the user data is taken, it cannot be. They can't opt out. Fingerprints, iris patterns, DNA, facial structure, chemical scent. You know, all these types of things used for biometrics can't be changed, or can't be changed easily unless you want to get a face transplant like that lady did. But the issue is that, you know, we are to take blood and fingerprints and everything at birth. It wouldn't be too much of a stretch to store that data. And there are people working on DNA, you know, quick DNA desequencers, so that you just, you know, put a drop of blood on, it rips apart your DNA and identifies you like right away. That's being worked on. So, yeah, any questions?
Any comments on recently at CCC in Berlin, they created RFID zappers from disposable cameras.
Yeah, the RFID Zapper project. Actually, I had a guy contact me on the RFID website there about it, and the idea is that you use EMF pulse to effectively zap an RFID tag. And the issue is that generally they found that it was hard to get it to work, to effectively like kill the tag, because one pulse to a tag, I mean, you have to think of it as a transformer. You've got a coil and another, you know, of the antenna of the tag, antenna of the reader, and they have to be tuned. So these passive devices are resonant frequency devices. So the tag operates and is tuned at whatever frequency it is, and then the reader is as well. So for one pulse to shoot through an RFID tag, they have limiters on them already to protect against overly strong reader hardware. So to overcome that protection and everything, you really need a zapper that's going to operate on the same resonant frequency and really push a huge amount of energy at the tag at the same resonant frequency. To just push one pulse through it, you really have to align it perfectly and make sure that the expansion of the magnetic field is pushing through the antenna tag perfectly, and you'd probably fry other electronics with that amount of power. So essentially what a lot of people have taken doing, especially for garment tags, is just, since they have to be so close anyways, just hammer, bam. Or cut the tag antenna.
Can you think of any companies that would be
investment in
smart investments in RFID?
Oh, can I think of any RFID companies that would be smart investments? Actually, it's funny. I rip on Verishift, but probably 6 years ago, before I even considered this, I bought stock in them. But now I'm like, I've contacted them actually as a stockholder to say, what are you guys doing? You guys are messing up. But there's all kinds. RFID is a huge, broad range of frequencies, technologies. And companies are doing, leveraging in different ways. So I don't know personally what would be good.
Who makes the one in your hand there?
The left one is done by EM. It's EM412, so it's electromicron. I don't know. Actually, it's a big long one. I always forget. But the right one is easy. Phillips. Yeah. No, they don't have an inbuilt inherent reporting mechanism, but if your reader was to update a memory block to keep track of that, then essentially, yeah.
Well, but that would be, I think it would be interesting if you go out and come back.
Oh, right, yeah. To see if it was read.
That's interesting. How does that happen?
No, there's nothing like that actually that I know of in any tag yet. But there are devices that are kind of built like Wi-Fi sniffers. But the idea is that they sniff RFID readers. The only problem is that there's so much just ambient, random frequency interference that they kind of go off at random, like Wi-Fi sniffers. Yeah.
You said multiple times, if I got you correctly, you think having a tag in your hand makes being read consensual, but it seems like that's open to all kinds of social engineering. And you touch 1,000 things
Sure.
a day.
Yeah.
You build a reader into a doorknob, you build a reader into anything that people touch on a regular basis, and things that consent is gone.
Exactly. The idea is that the consent for reading is gone because I do this so often and touch other things. So, and that is true, but I'm not worried about that because if they have my tag ID, it's not associated with anything but my house and mine. You know what I mean? So the context. Now, if I had a Verishift and I used it for payment, that would be an issue. I would get one of those Mylar, whatever, Nazi bands made out of Mylar.
It seems like the way to resolve the consent issue is to somehow make an RFID tag, an implantable tag that you can turn on and off.
Yeah, the issue with the turning the on and off tag is that you still have to somehow send a code to turn it on. And the issue is that you can just replay the on code and then read it. So the problem is that, essentially with consent of reading, if you get an implant and it's passive, it's going to be, I don't know how it can be really fully secured against reading unless you have some kind of shield, over it or something like that. Yeah, body armor.
The physical switch. You talked about like a one-time use on writable
Yeah.
Do you know how many times the implant can be rewritten in its life cycle? The reason I ask is Seattle Public Library is actually replacing the RFID tags with books.
Yeah.
Because they're written to every time the book is checked out, and some of them are dying.
Exactly. The one in my right hand basically has, I think it's 100,000 write cycles, and if you rotate the memory blocks, it's even more. Like if you only update a section rather than the whole thing, you can rotate those blocks to get more life. So essentially, if I was to write to it once a day, like coming home or whatever, it's like 273.5 years of life. So while there is a write issue, if you can basically implement ways of extending that life.